Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, depending on where you are. Today is Kagame's 62nd birthday. Kagame is the president of Rwanda. As you may know, we, my family, and I have lived in Rwanda for quite a while. And I thought I would do you a favor, especially Kenyans, because many times people will sit me down and say, I want to invest in Rwanda, I want to go and visit Rwanda, I want to go and see this country everybody is talking about. And of course, I've sat with people, I've told my honest opinion about the country, both negatives and the positives. And today I thought I would just make one simple clip sharing about my experience in Rwanda. Now, Rwanda is a beautiful country. It's really a beautiful country. I know critics might argue with this, but I mean, it's like a beautiful girl. You can't argue. If she's, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder, but there are some beauties that have more beholders than others, like I. So you can't argue with that. Rwanda is beautiful, and you basically are able to know this immediately you land in the country. Whether you're coming by bus or flying in or walking in, it's just a beautiful country. Whether you're coming through Uganda, through Congo, through Burundi, through Tanzania, whichever part of the country, or through the airport, whichever part you arrive in Rwanda, you find that it's an amazing country. And my experience in Rwanda starts in 2008. 12 years ago, and I had just resigned from my job. I actually it had been 6 months after I had resigned my job, and my first trip was really super exciting. Those trips, you're going tomorrow and you sleep with your shoes like when you're a child. Yeah, like almost that. It was really exciting for me on two counts. Number one, it wasn't my first trip out of the country, but it was my first trip to the country. And there was so much confusion because some people still thought there was war in there. I was part of that. I still thought there was such an instability in there. But I knew some friends that had gone and moved to work there. And for me, it was a wishy-washy situation. It wasn't an exact country I thought of as a destination to live, probably just a destination to go, just like I love traveling and visiting. The second reason was that after I had resigned to work as a consultant, I'd only been able to land one job. And after that job, I had gone for almost 3 months without a job, almost 4 months actually without a job. And it had been a very, very difficult situation. And I was in a place where I was praying God to know if I should get back to employment or I should continue and pursue the path that I've taken for the last 12 years. And while I was praying and fasting, I got this call on a Friday morning, evening. And I got a call from a lady, and she said, my name is Chantal, I'm calling on behalf of Rwanda Horticultural Development Authority. I was like, what? And I had no expectation of a call from Rwanda. I had made an application for a tender like 3 months before, and when they did not respond because they'd said it was urgent, I sort of left. I mean, we all apply for government tenders in Kenya and they just never happen, or anywhere else. So I wasn't even expecting much. So 3 months later, somebody calls me and says, hey Carol, we're expecting you on Monday and we wanted to confirm what time you're arriving. I was like, oh, what? It's Friday. This guy's expecting me on Monday. So this is what happened. After I applied the tender, I went through, I won the tender, and everybody knew about it apart from me. So they arranged for the training, booked the venues, invited over 40 participants from the Ministry of Agriculture staff, from lecturers in the universities dealing with agriculture, to service providers, agronomists in the field of horticulture. They were all there. They were coming on Monday morning. What they didn't know is that the trainer didn't know. So anyway, to cut the long story short, I was there. I've told you we'd gone through a long period of not having jobs and I was broke. So I did not know how to get to Rwanda in such a short time. And I could have gone by bus, but by then it was only Kampala coach that used to go. And trying Kampala coach, I think they were booked up to Monday or Sunday. So that was out. So the only way I could fly, and I didn't even have money. Graciously, my husband talked to the uncle and they gave me like almost more than half of what the ticket demanded. And then I think my sister sorted me out with the balance or something like that. I can't remember, but my sister sorted out me with the balance and somebody else. And then we gathered all that we had and I traveled. And on arriving, I arrived at about 5 in the evening. And you go down, it's not a big town, it's not really a big town. And the airport then wasn't as made as it is now. So you get in, and the country is small. I arrived, and the first thing that hit me, that the people were friendly, but I thought it was just customer service. And then I got the vehicle, the government vehicle that was waiting for me, picked me up to take me to the designated hotel. The first thing that hit me, there were these army guys on the road, many army guys. Now, in any other country, especially where I come from, when you see that amount of army presence on the roads, there are security issues. There are major security. It's probably after a bombing or Al-Shabaab. But the funny thing is, even as you go through all these roads with all these askaris, you don't really have that fear. You don't sort of feel any scare. It's just peaceful. For some reason, just peaceful. And I got into the hotel. The government guys came. The director of the government organization came to see me in the hotel. It was such a privilege, because in Kenya, although I had held senior positions, Kenya is a big country, so really sitting with a government officer is such a privilege. So I was able to, feel good for the first time. They respected me. I started the training, I thought it was Sunday evening. So I started the training Monday morning with Rwanda Standards Bureau. I was training on Global Gap. The country was working on implementation of Global Gap standards to their horticulture farmers. I didn't know yet, but I didn't know that I would be part of right now Rwanda has, yesterday we just finished our last audit of the last 3 farms. There are other 3 farms that have participated, that have been part of setting up for certification, and now there are these 3 farms that are waiting certification tomorrow. I believe they are going to get it. So basically all the Global Gap certification in Rwanda, we have been part of it, and we thank God for that. But that was the beginning. So I did the first Global Gap training, and I spent the week there. And the first thing that hit me was how much there was no corruption. And I'm going to tell you about all these things in what I have called 10 things not to do when you get into Rwanda. Next week, I'm going to do another one, basically for business. Some things you need to know before you invest in this amazing country. Now,